Well, here we go. Factor 4x to the fourth minus 16x cubed minus 48x squared. All right, well, so this is a trinomial. And it is possible this particular one actually will break up into a product of binomials. And it would be very difficult to do that at this point, to try to break it up this way as binomials. It can be done, but it would be very inefficient. And here's why. Because, for one thing, I have a leading coefficient of 4. I don't have the powers x squared, x, and constant. And it's just going to create bigger terms to deal with, more possibilities. And so that's why I say your first step is to look at these and ask yourself, is there a common factor that can be factored out, a greatest common factor? And if you can factor that out, then what's left over is going to be smaller, it's going to be simpler, it's going to be easier to deal with as far as factoring into binomials. So let's look for that greatest common factor. And among the numbers, 4, 16, and 48, it would be 4, wouldn't it? And so I can factor a 4 out. And then look at the variables. There's an x in each place, but x squared is your least or smallest power. So I can factor out x squared. And what does that leave us? Well, if I take 4x squared from 4x to the fourth, I'm left with plain old x squared. And then I divide off 4x squared out of minus 16x cubed. I get minus 4x. And then over here, I'm going to get minus 12. So I'm going to write that 12 a little more plainly here. There we go. Now let's just check that, and this time I'll do it mentally. So if I multiply this back, I will get 4x to the fourth. That's correct. And this is going to be minus 16x cubed. And then negative 12 times 4x squared is going to be minus 48x squared. So that's correct. And I think it constantly amazes me. You know, here I am. I've been factoring for over 30 years. I've done many thousands of them, and I'm a mathematician. And yet I still check my factoring. But I have many students who apparently don't check their factoring. And I don't know. I'm just constantly amazed by that. So if you want to make mistakes, then don't go to the trouble of checking yourself. All right. If you don't want to do well, it's very easy. It's very easy to not do well. Okay. It's not so easy to do well, but to not do well is too easy. That's why people who don't do well don't get paid very much, because it's too easy to do that, isn't it? All right. But people who do well tend to get paid better because there are not as many of those people around who are willing to go the extra mile to excel. All right. So there we go. I'll get off my soapbox, but again, I can't harp too much on checking your factoring, because in this chapter that we're doing, many of the mistakes are due to factoring. And there's quite a few other kinds of mistakes too I'm going to mention as we go on through the chapter, but many of them are due to just factoring mistakes. All right, so the question remains, will this part factor, this trinomial? And let's give it a try. So, and again, don't forget your greatest common factor, 4x squared. And I'll see if I can break up this into two pieces. So I know x's have to go here to get x squared. The 12, and 12 is interesting because there's a couple ways to do it. 2 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. And looking here, which pair of factors could be either added together or subtracted to get a minus 4. All right. And so could I get a 4 out of 1 and 12 by addition or subtraction? No. I can out of 2 and 6, but can I out of 3 and 4? No, I can't add or subtract 3 and 4 and get 4. But 2 and 6, that's going to be a winner. Probably. And again, there's no guarantee that everything factors, but this one I will guarantee because I set it up. All right, so to get minus 4, I would need plus 2 and minus 6. So plus 2 minus 6. All right, so let's check that factoring. Now I already checked this factoring going from here to here. Let's check this part. So I have x squared, that's good, minus 6x plus 2x is minus 4x, and then minus 12 is factored, and it's completely factored in this case. So there we go. That's that. Now our next section will cover the ones with a leading coefficient of that is not 1. And so those get a little more trickier. But we'll go from here.